Hi, my name is Anna Hatfield, and today is August the 8th, 2020. This week is week 5 for Bio240, and we are working on the respiratory system. We went ahead and dissected this week, my favorite part of this class. We were able to remove the heart so that we can expose the lungs, along with the trachea and the pharynx, along with the, I think you pronounce it hilus, where the lungs connect to the trachea, and then it branches out to the lungs. I'm going to show you the diaphragm. I'm going to show you the superior, middle, and inferior lobe of the right lung, along with the upper and lower lobes. I'm also going to show you the larynx, the trachea with the thyroid gland, the thymus gland. It's all together in the larynx. The larynx is your voice box. It also, it has also the thyroid gland there, along with the thymus. We're also going to show you the diaphragm. Diaphragm. I keep calling it diagram. I know it's diaphragm, which is the main muscle that holds the lungs and the heart. We learned that there's a wall, right? Or kind of like a room, as mentioned in our video, where the lungs and the heart are together. They're all in this room with the rib cage and the sternum holding it all together tightly, nicely by sitting on top of this diaphragm, just like along here. Choose a common disease for respiratory system and briefly describe the anatomical and physiological changes that may occur respiratory system when people are suffering from the disease. So for the discussion, this week's discussion, I chose asthma, because asthma is a respiratory disease. It can be brought on by sports asthma, such as my kids. My kids, whenever they played a sport, their bronchioles would get swollen, making it hard for them to breathe, making them hard for them to do the activity, running, track and field. That's what my son, my oldest, was part of. And he had to use a rescue inhaler. So what happens in asthma is that the bronchioles get, the walls of the bronchioles, which is simple squamous epithelium wall, that gets, you would say, bothered. What is the word I'm trying to say? They would swell up due to, it can be, like I said, sports asthma or some sort of, dust particles, almost kind of like an allergy, except for you constantly have it, and you have to make sure that you're free of that mucus buildup that you get. So that's what asthma is. Thankfully, we have rescue inhalers that help individuals with asthma, and the changes that may occur would be feeling a bit weak, faint, wheezing, a lot of wheezing and weakness, because you're not getting that oxygen levels that you normally would, right? Because of the inflammation in the bronchioles. Okay, so now I'm going to try to show and focus as much as I can on this fetal pig. So I'm going to use this here, and hope you can see. Right here is the larynx. So we have the larynx with the thyroid gland that sits on top. I tried to remove as much as I could. Right here, you got the trachea that's going down. The trachea, I hope you can see this guy. So there is the larynx. Here's the trachea. Then we have the primary bronchs right here. They're like these little cute little tube-like things that come out here. Then I have my right, you can't hardly see it, but here is my right lung. And in my right lung, there's 3 lobes. So there is the upper, the middle, and the inferior lobe, which is the lower lobe. On the left side of the lungs, we have only 2 lobes. So we have the upper and lower lobe. Sitting on the lungs, sit on what we call this big muscle here, the diaphragm. So this is the diaphragm here, and the heart and the lungs sit on it. Moving along, what else do I have to give you guys? The apical lobe, which is up here, and the cardiac lobe, which would be the middle of the lung, the middle lobe. And I think, you know, the reason why it's called the cardiac lobe is because those are the lobes that surround probably mainly the heart, and that is where you would see the where it connects to the God, what do you call it? The H1, the helium or the hilum. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, that's where, oh, I'm sorry, the hilus. That's what it's called, the hilus to the lungs. So that is where it connects from the trachea. You know, it has the 2 lungs there, and it connects to this hilus of lungs. The visceral and the parietal pleura, also here. And that's pretty much it. That conducts this respiratory, the lower respiratory system, because, you know, of course we have the upper and then we have the lower. And that's pretty much what we did for this dissection, is the lower respiratory system. And I will admit that I had fun exposing the trachea some more, taking more muscle away so that we can see the larynx, and removing of the heart so that we can see the lungs well, along with the diaphragm. So that concludes my video for week 5 for Anna Hatfield, and this is Bio240 for Los Angeles Pacific University. Thank you so much.